Right, so the aim of this little lesson and activity is to get you just planning 5 class plans, and it's to start to get the hang of getting quicker at planning your classes, but also setting out only a few class plans and working with those. So what you'll find is that once you've done this, you'll have 5 class plans. You'll then use the other lessons to recycle these 5 class plans over a period of weeks. You'll rejig and reorder them to create 5 more class plans, and then you'll use them as a base for more class plans by swapping in and out other different clusters. And you'll then be able to progress these class plans and slowly progress your clients. So here's how it's going to work. So you're going to use the structure of the class plan that we did in the lesson of planning a full balanced class, and then once you get the hang of it, you can start to put in your own structure. The idea is that you start each class with a different warm-up, so in a different position, and then that way that's going to set your class up for a whole different flow, and it'll feel completely different. You'll then go on to add in some arms, abs, legs, full body and mobility sequences, and the order of those will change depending on where you start, and that'll make sense in a minute. And then I've listed some ideas to get you started, and it's really going to show you how your class plans can be super simple and be really different. So you'll see here, you've got your little table. Now, I recommend that if you copy the document and then you can expand that table, once you get the hang of it, you won't need the document at all. But this is what we're going to do. If you're only teaching one class, then maybe just teach the plan the one class, but I really highly recommend you go through and do all 5 of them. And we're literally going to start with the warm-up for each of your classes. So I've got written down in the side here some different ideas that you can use. So that will mean that your class plans can be a little bit different. So for the first class plan, let's keep it nice and simple, and we'll do a supine footwork series. And that's just going to be the start point, and then you'll be able to plan your cluster after that of what exercises you include. Class plan 2, I'm going to do standing roll downs with the long box on the carriage. And then class plan 3, I'm going to do cat stretches with my hands on the rails facing the pulleys, and then that will turn into another series. Class plan 4, I'm going to do standing roll downs and into a little mat sequence next to the reformer. And class plan 5, let's go and do some supine bridges for some spinal articulation to start with. So all of the classes are starting differently. So then what you would do is you'd add on to that little warm-up sequence and add what you want next. So footwork, we might go double leg heels, and we might do pulses, and then we might go toes and calf raises. We might go wide, etc. And then once we've done that, and then say with the standing roll downs, I might then do standing roll downs into some standing footwork at the bar. So then once you've done those, you go to your next section, and that's when you add in your second cluster. So whether it's an ab cluster, an arm cluster, or a leg cluster, it might just depend on what position you're in. So for example, if I'm already in supine here, I might go into some an ab cluster. And so you know here that look at the side and go, well, these are all supine, Alright, let's do an ab cluster in supine, and we might do a mid-back series. Now here we've already got the long box on, so I might want to do here something with the long box, and then it's up to me. Maybe I don't want to go into the abs with using the long box, so I might go on to an arm cluster here, and then just know that my next cluster might be some abs. For here, we've got cat stretches, hands on the rails facing the pulleys, so we're already facing the pulleys. So I reckon I might go into some rollbacks with the straps facing pulleys. So that will be my exercise cluster there. And then I would do the same for the other two. So now once we've done our ab cluster, we write down the exercises that we want to do in that cluster. Same for these other clusters here, so the long box and some arm clusters on the box. And then we go down to the next one. So we did our abs here in this class. So next maybe we do some arms or some legs. So let's stick with this and let's go into some arms. And why don't we do some picking from the side here. We know that let's do some front rowing. And let's just do it in sitting on the carriage. And here we had the long box and we did an arm cluster. So why don't we do our abs here using the box. And when we look through our ab series, we know that we had rollbacks on the long box, or maybe let's do short box abdominals series. And then when you go to the next one, we did rollbacks with the straps facing the pulleys. So a nice one to go into after that would be maybe some kneeling back rowing series, or seated, whatever you like there. Then this one, we've done our abs and our arms. So then we want to put in maybe some leg work and some full body work. So I reckon, because they're sitting facing the foot bar, we're going to go into our full body cluster next. And let's maybe let's stay facing the foot bar. And if we look through here, we could do a plank series, we could do pike to planks, knee stretches. So thinking of something that's facing that way. So maybe we'll do a plank series facing, we've already got facing the foot bar. And then let's go on to add in our leg series that we haven't done yet. And so our leg series, maybe let's just do a scooter and a lunge. And just facing the foot bar, 1 foot on the floor. And then all we have to do is add in just a little bit of a mobility cool down. So we might go into like a hip flexor stretch because they're already next to the carriage. So then what we do is we just do the same for the other series. So we're looking across and having a look at our class plans, and we know that we've got abs using the box, so we did our short box abdominal series. We did our long backs arm series there. Maybe we could keep the short box on and do some kind of leg series here. So maybe some splits or some standing splits because we haven't done them. And then maybe we could use the box again and we could do a plank and knee stretch series. And then we'd go and do the same for number 3 class plan, and we'd go and do the same for number 4 and 5. So what you can see is then you have 5 class plans that are all different. So if we look at class plan 1, we've got our footwork laying on our back. We're going to do a mid-back series cluster. We're going to get up and do some front rowing and sitting. Then we'll do our full body and a plank series. And then we'll do some scooters and lunges and a cool down. And we'll buff out those clusters. Then when we go to week 2, we've got standing roll downs. So we're starting in a completely different position. We're going to go standing footwork at the bar. Then we're going to use the box and do some arm work on the box, which is different to what we did in our arm work the week before. Our abs, we're going to do short box, and that's different to the abs we did the other class. And we're going to keep using the short box, do some standing splits and some planks. Then when we go to our third one, we've started differently. So cat stretches and with our hands on the rails, we're going to stay facing that way, and our abs are going to be rollbacks, then back rowing. And then we keep going, and what you'll see is you'll end up having 5 class plans that are each distinctly different because you're making sure that you're picking a different kind of series that you're going to go through with your clients. And then once you've got that, we learn how to cycle them through and use them throughout the week and throughout the month. And we'll just keep going in that fashion so that you don't have to keep recreating the wheel. The final thing that I would do is if you haven't started your exercise clusters, once you've gone through here and looked at where you're starting, I would write down your exercise clusters here, copy the exercise cluster, and then paste it into your cluster workbook. And then you'll already then have 5 warm-up clusters, 5 ab clusters, 5 arm clusters. Then you'll already have heaps of stuff in your cluster toolbox to work with as well. So once you've done this, feel free to send through your class plans and get some feedback, and then I can help you with reordering them and reusing them and progressing them.